bottle
Yeah.
of any colour and sling it on. So I mix this because I want to get something that's the same colour. And I just throw it on like that.
So really sort of intimate boudoir secrets, these, aren't they?
Yes. Nobody's ever seen this. The
That's
naked,
right,
the naked face.
The unadorned face.
That's why I'm putting it on as quickly as possible, so you don't have to.
Do women generally put too much makeup on, do you think, Joan, or what?
Yes, I think most women don't know how to do makeup. They sell it. I mean, there's billions of different things sold in all the different stores, but there's no sort of way of telling you actually how to put it on. So you have all these products, some of which are really good, but you don't know how to do it. And that's what I think my book's about, is it tells you how to do it step by step. I mean, if I was, I don't know how to plant a garden, for example. I would love somebody to write out a very easy book about what to do and what exactly you do and how easy it is. So that's the base. Then if you've got circles under your eyes after having had a particularly hard night.
What are you looking at me for when you say that?
Well, I was looking at both of them.
Would that do anything for mine, do you think?
Yes.
I think we'd probably polyfiller or
yes,
cement I might need.
Actually, another thing that a lot of women do is they put too much of that on.
Yeah.
And then you see, particularly in films, I've seen actresses, and you can see their faces, and they've got these sort of big white circles under their eyes. Then, this is the, getting some colour in now.
Now, this is just ordinary sort of going out makeup. This is what you put on every morning to go out.
Well, yes, every morning, yes.
This is not sort of fancy makeup for the big occasion.
No, but it's the basis of
base
one.
of it,
I mean,
yeah.
because it's basically the same sort of thing that one would put on, probably with a bit more care. If one was going, you know, to do your show or go to a premiere or something. And then, I've got all my stuff here. That's I do the eyes. These are sort of pencils. What I like to use pencils, and I use brushes from the art store, which are these, which one can buy, you know, at any art supply store.
They're just ordinary paintbrushes, are they?
Yes, they're just ordinary paintbrushes. And fingers are very good, too. I believe in the old fingers doing it. But, I mean, I know my face like the back of my hand. So it's quite easy for me to do. But anybody can learn how to do it pretty fast once they know what to do and once they're not cluttered up with loads of different paraphernalia.
In your book, do you in fact tell women with different shaped faces? I mean, not quite obviously, you've got a certain kind of face, and what you're doing now is good for that. It wouldn't be good for a woman with a different shaped face, would it, or a different complexion, or what?
Well, what I'm doing now is sort of fairly basic. The difference in putting the colouring on the cheeks, that has a lot to do with the shape of the face. And for example, if one had a double chin, then you do a certain kind of shading there. And I do go into that in different face shapes and everything like that in the book. Now I put the powder on, which is a really messy part. And I put lots of this on, because if it's going to stay on all day, then it has to... Well, you know, you do this, don't you? Somebody does it for you.
Have somebody do it for me. It doesn't take as long as this.
This does not take... I'm very fast.
Which is a point, actually. I mean, what was the average length of time you'd spend in makeup for a movie? I mean, it takes hours, doesn't it?
No, I do it myself.
Do you?
Yes, well, first of all, I usually have tea and read the papers and listen to the radio and talk to the crew and everything like that. But, I mean, so I like to allow about half an hour to do it properly. But if push came to shove, I mean, if I really had to do it fast, I could do it in about this length of time. And it would sort of stay all day. So that's sort of the base. And then I do the detail.
What's that?
That's like eyebrows. This is where you need a steady hand.
So you think the majority of people, women then, even though they may use makeup for all their lives, I suppose, not a lot of them really understand what they're doing, would that be?
I think they understand what... No, I don't think they do understand what they're doing, actually. A lot, if what one sees in the streets. I think young girls have a tendency to know better. I think that a lot of women get into a thing of finding a makeup style that suited them, say, in the 60s, for example, when makeup was very different then, when it was very dark around the eyes with a lot of sort of turquoise eyeliner and a very white sort of cakey lipstick. And they stick to that because it suited them. And I think that a great many women get stuck into what they consider to be their prime, which I suppose is sort of mid-20s, and they stay with that makeup, and they don't change it. And there's new makeup things coming along all the time. And there's new colors and there's new sort of ways of doing it. And makeup is so much lighter now. The texture of the bases and things that you put on is much, much lighter than it used to be. And they don't experiment. They don't change their eyebrows or their eyeliner or their lipstick colors.
Are some perhaps a little bit frightened, too, of changing?
Yeah, well, I think it's not so much fear. I think young girls, sort of, when I say young girls, I mean girls, say, when they start using makeup, 14 or 15, up until sort of when they get married, have lots of time to go meandering around the department stores and trying out different things. And you can go to any department store, and they'll give you a free makeup, which is very nice, and they'll show you how to do it. Lots of the cosmetic companies do that. I've seen them at Selfridges, women sitting there, and of course it's been embarrassing to do it in front of thousands of people, which is the way they do it. And so young girls have a chance to experiment, and also they've obviously got more money. And also they've obviously got more motivation because they're going out to discotheques or something with a boyfriend, and will do it.
You need a steady hand for all that, don't you?
Well, I wasn't on the booze too much last night. I need a steady hand for this. I can't talk now. I'll have
You
to talk.
can't, all right.
Under my lips.
We shall watch as you pout. Say Wolverhampton now.
Wolverhampton.
It's Wolverhampton.
Wolverhampton. That's another pencil, is it? How long has it been so far?
Keep on going. Because, I mean, you're lucky because you've got nice lips, haven't you? And one of the extraordinary things you see with some women is when they paint that curve, which you knew is natural.
But you can do it.
You can.
If you use an eyebrow pencil, which is what I use to outline my lips, if you put that on, then you can sort of do the shape that you want of your lips, as long as you've got the base on it. Now I'm filling in the color with a brush. This is the time when I do most of my thinking. I mean, I think other times too, but... Right, only two more things to do.
They're what?
Mascara, which you do the top and the bottom. And it's great to do this under the hairdryer, actually. It makes them all stick up.
You were talking earlier about young girls and their attitude toward makeup. Do you, in fact, teach your kids how to make themselves up now? Because you've got a couple of daughters, haven't you?
Yes, well, of course, you know, with every generation, makeup changes. And I think now that young girls wear probably quite a lot less makeup. I mean, Tara doesn't wear a base, for example. But basically, I think what it is if you know your own face and you've got to experiment and really work out what looks the best, and that you have to do by yourself or with a friend, and you can find out what makes you look the best.
Have you ever made a really dreadful mistake with any makeup?
How do you mean?
Well, that you've used some that should absolutely be no good to you at all, that didn't suit you.
Oh, yes.
You looked hideous.
Yes, but it
Yes?
wasn't me that did it.
Who was
it? It was a makeup person.
Was it really?
Because makeup people, a lot of the times, I hope I'm not offending any, but because it's their profession, they think that they, you know, sort of know better than one, and so they always want to sort of change your look. Makeup people always want to get their hands on me and change me. They want to change my makeup and change the way I look. I don't know why, because I think basically it looks all right. So there it is. C'est fini.
Sensational.
How long was that?
About 2 hours.
No, it wasn't. Don't be
No,
so
it was
mean.
very quick. It was about 5 minutes. It was remarkable, actually. Now, that's the base, then, of course.
Yes, that's sort of
going out in the street and
Yes.
whatever.
Yes.
Right. So what would you do if you're going to be interviewed? You said, if you come on my show, what would you do
Oh,
then?
lots more.
Would you?
Yes. Well, I might put some of this gold on.
Gold?
Gold. Of course, now this could fall all over my face and be an utter disaster. With a brush. Because gold is, but, oh, you see? See what I mean?
Sort of Nefertiti.
Yes, a bit there. I really should have... I didn't bring enough brushes. And put some up there. And then I put some purple on, too.
What, on your eyes?
Yes. I'll make my eyebrows darker, first of all. Because I remember the lights on your show. They look pale. And when doing the eyebrows, I do it with sort of small strokes so that it looks like real hairs.
Mm.
And then I do more under there, break it in more out there. And this is the purple.
Where do you put that? Under the eye?
Oh, everywhere.
Oh.
Well, it's like painting, really. It's like painting a picture. You put a bit on and then you take a bit off. Like I just put too much on. I just use spit. Spit is good for everything. And see when it looks okay, more or less.
Looks very glamorous.
Yeah. It'll probably look good under the lights.
Mm.
And I've got green eyes, so purple's good for them. See, a lot of women would think if they've got green eyes, they should use green eyeshadow, which of course is ludicrous because you shouldn't, because that won't show them up. And if you've got green eyes, or hazel eyes, or sort of anything with any green, and purple makes them look much greener. And then I'll put on some eyelashes. I put on some eyelashes?
Mm. I don't know how you bear to wear these things, actually.
I'm just used to it. I only wear them for special occasions, like doing your show. Of course, I don't have my tweezers, so I'll have to do them hard.
No tweezers?
No. I can do them with my fingers.
Uh-huh.
It's harder, but... And you put those on. False eyelashes haven't been in vogue for a while, but they're coming back because you see, teenagers have just discovered false eyelashes because they didn't have them. Nobody's been wearing them for the past 10 years, except certain singers and actresses. And so now, 16 and 17-year-old girls have sort of discovered them and are starting to use them again. But you remember that fad, well, you probably didn't notice, but in the late 60s and early 70s, girls were wearing eyelashes on the upper and lower.
Mm. Yes, something like that. Mm.
Let's just plonk on, like that. Better cover up the base so that people will think they're my own. And then I'll put on a different lipstick.
Why? Because that's more evening. That's
Yes. Well, this is more glamorous for the evening. And it shows that also lights are different. So if you wear something light during the day, it can wash out during the night. And I think that looks more or less right. And then a bit more blusher. And this all fits in one small little bag about this big, and I can sort of take it around with me and touch it up. Will that do?
Perfection, madam. You've passed the audition.
Thank you. I get the part.
You get the part.
One, take two.